want to get your 2 cents on this just because you're always, thinking ahead. So we know, all the sexiness and craze with AI. And of course, agents are utilizing it, they're using it the right way. Most of them are not, but being able to have it right just allows them to collapse time and go faster. My question to kind of what maybe you have thought about it or maybe not, but as the consumer gets smarter utilizing AI in their home selling and home search process, where do you see the agents that are going to thrive position themselves to now as the consumer gets a little smarter, or so they think, right? They get in, further down the process. How do you, because I know you're all about being, a marketer first. How do you start to market to where we position at the right time, right? Where the timing is, where the agent now becomes part of the process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if AI is going to impact like the consumer wanting to take over more parts of the real estate transaction. I still think it's I do think there's still a lot of moving parts to that. And it's like, you go back to the for sale by owner, right? Like people have always freaked out about for sale by owner and instant cash offer buyers, iBuyers, and they've always talked about how this is going to impact real estate. And at the end, I think if you look at it, it's like 9% of all sales are impacted by these things. So it's such a small number. Yeah, maybe the consumer might be a little bit more educated on the process, but I still think in real estate, it's so hyper local. Your ability to market a home to the local market, the relocation market, manage that process. These other people are going to have jobs and things that they need to do. Are they really managing it? I had a guy that asked me a really great question about, or I'm sorry, it was a lady and her daughter are selling a home. And she was like, we have the house on our market ourselves, but how do we know the people that are coming to our home? Like, you don't. You don't have a system to vet whether they're a licensed real estate agent. You don't have an electronic key system that ties to the licensing software to make sure strangers aren't coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, don't put a combination lockbox that can get out there and then buyers can come back unaccompanied by their agent. So I don't know how it's going to impact it. I think the smart agents right now are leveraging it for things like, creating some email copy, some text message, auto replies, maybe helping you put together a business plan. I used it here recently. I took all of the homes that went under contract in Frisco in the last 30 days. And then I went to my single line MLS view and I added in all the categories, all the detailed categories about the home. And I had to analyze that and say, look for similarities, where like buying patterns, what type of home, the age, what are buyers looking for? And it broke down this chart and gave me a chart by price brackets, how many buyers were buying, where the hottest parts in the segments of the market in. And then it just really summarized like, hey, people who are moving to Frisco, they want a home on average that's built between 2017 and 2020, that's newer, clean. It's a minimum 4 bedrooms, minimum 3 baths, about 3,200 square feet is the sweet spot. And they're willing to spend up to $750,000. If you price these homes at $800,000 or above, those homes are significantly taking longer to sell and are having price adjustments. I was like, damn, that's like good insight. Now I've got that prompt saved and I could take that on a listing presentation. By the way, I got it so dialed in. I said, okay, well, I'm going on a listing presentation for a home in this area, in this zip code. It has this feature, this upgrade, this. Based on the buying patterns over the last 30 days, what's a good price point? And it pulled and it gave me a little bit higher price point. I was like, that's weird. Let me go look at the listings. And it started pulling from like a gated community in Lexington. I was like, okay, now do that, but remove this community because those are gated homes. I want non-gated homes. And this thing was like, this home should be priced between $769,000 and $775,000. I was like, damn, that's the exact number that I had when I did the CMA. Yeah. So I was like, wow, so I think it could be a great tool. I don't think the average consumer's going to be able to figure that out. You might have a few, the tech
be a small percentage,
but don't let those small percentages drive you crazy and dictate, now if it's a mass movement, okay, but I just think that's going to be a small 3, 5, 6, maybe 10% of the market that goes that direction. I think you could do very well serving that 80% of the market that I'm not trying to do this on my own. I want
Right.
an expert. I want it to be, as stress less as possible, stress free, and just build your systems and processes. Then being able to like articulate and show your systems, I think is really important.